Welcome to Sunday. The sharing that comes to mind is learning from nature. In what way? Look how disciplined nature is. The sun comes up at a particular time. We see it moving from east to west. Of course, the earth is moving from west to east. And then dusk happens, night happens. And that happens every day. That's how we measure our days, 24 hours. All of nature follows this rhythm. We go to bed at a particular hour and we change our activities at a particular hour. We wake up at a particular hour. Our lives are governed by this night and day. Have you ever observed how your body behaves at different times of the day? Very interesting. When you get up in the morning, do you feel to eat? Do you feel this ravenous hunger? Or do you build that up? What happens at midday? How do you feel at midday? How do you feel in the morning period? How do you feel in the afternoon period? How do you feel in the dusk period? How do you feel in the early hours of the evening? How do you feel at night? What happens? How is the body influenced? And if we observe nature, what happens to animals? How do they behave? What happens to trees and plants and birds? And what happens? They all follow the rhythm of nature faithfully. We are the only ones with artificial lighting. Heavy industrial activity or hospital activities, 24 hours operation. That rhythm of nature is called circadian rhythm. Which I greatly respect. Of course, I've broken the rhythm so many times. I've worked in industry, the iron and steel industry. I've worked the ships. I know how the body feels. I've broken the rhythms of nature in all the things that I've done in the past, but now nature gets the better of me. I have to bow to her. And I honor the circadian rhythm very faithfully. I wish that you can appreciate. Of course, I've always appreciated it, but now I have even greater appreciation for it. What is beautiful is that Indian traditional medicine, Ayurveda, teaches us practices that are called dinacharya, following the sun. And Chinese medicine follows something called a meridian clock. These are very interesting rhythms. It tells you what to do during the different times of the day. The Indian system divides it in 4-hour segments that follows what is called doshas. So from 6 to 10, it's a kapha period, the kapha dosha. From 10 to 2, it's the pitta dosha. Pitta is the more fire dosha, the element of fire and water. Kapha is water and earth, the more dense elements. And from 2 to 6 p.m., it's the Vata dosha, which is the elements of wind and space. So Kapha influences us in the morning, well, the early morning, the rising, and then Pitta comes in, the firepower, and then the Vata comes in. But the meridian clock is a 2-hour clock. 5 to 7 in the morning, it's large intestine. 7 to 9, it's stomach meridian. Does it sound familiar? Stomach meridian. It's the energy current to the stomach is heightened, boosted. 9 to 11 is spleen. 3 to 5, bladder. 5 to 7, kidney. 7 to 9, pericardium. That's more social activity, heart, what surrounds the heart. And 9 to 11 is what is called triple burner. The body starts to clean up, to go to bed. 11 to 1, very serious happenings here. Gallbladder. 1 to 3, liver. So these are the heavy detox. You should be deep sleeping during this period. 3 to 5, it's long meridian. That's why when you get up in the morning, you feel your lungs a little more energized. You want to breathe. You want to breathe deeply. So I follow this very faithfully. I eat during the periods of eating. I drink during the periods of drinking. I go to bed during the periods of sleep. It's closely aligned to the Ayurveda as well. But it's beautiful. And I thrive best when I follow the rhythms of nature. And the body puts you to sleep. It begins to stimulate within your being melatonin, the sleep hormone. So your eyes would feel sleepy at a certain hour, but we overcome that. And we get another burst of energy a little higher up. But we shouldn't do that. Nature doesn't do that. The plants follow, the animals follow. We need to do the same. That's one. And the second one, because of our superior intelligence in the animal world, animal kingdom, we go against all the rhythms. Now, when we think of the evolutionary drive of the universe, our soul is on this planet to evolve. And you are engaged in all your spiritual practices. You need discipline, sadhana, tapas. You need discipline. In the same way that nature is disciplined, your spiritual activity should take the same discipline. How you eat is going to affect how you think, how you behave. How you sleep or don't sleep is going to affect it. How you meditate or retreat inside or boost yourself up, it's going to affect you, your spiritual discipline, your soul activities, your soul impulses. So in the same way that nature creates a circadian rhythm for every day, your spiritual discipline every day should happen in the same kind of rhythm, in conjunction with nature. Meditation time, the best time is when the 6 a.m. period between there, when the night turns into day, at the midday when the sun is up, it's a beautiful time for meditation. At the dusk hour, these points are called Sandhya points. It's beautiful, but the energy starts to come into a kind of balance, and it gives a beautiful atmosphere for sadhana. Or midnight. But midnight disturbs the circadian rhythm. And then, if your body is not disciplined, if you are out of rhythm with nature, you're going to feel really out of sorts. So the circadian rhythm is important in the yoga and the Chinese system. Circadian rhythm is important, governs everything. So your spirituality and your spiritual discipline should also be governed by the rhythms. And then how do you want to meditate one day? Do it in rhythm for a certain period, feel the benefit, and then fall out of it. You thrive best when you follow the rhythms, when you follow the discipline. You thrive best. That's why we have a discipline day at the ashram here, the center. Because we want to follow that circadian rhythm. We want to follow the sandhya or the devotional period. We want to follow the meditation period. Please don't fall out of rhythm. Bring the body back into rhythm with nature, and bring your spiritual discipline back in rhythm. And that's how you will thrive at every level. Does it make any sense? Does it make any sense? Thank you. Yes, it does. That's why the wise ones, they caution us about sadhana, about discipline, about tapas. Nothing is gained without that. So please don't live indisciplined lives. No one thrives. Even the dogs, the cats, the birds, all the animals are disciplined. Of course, their consciousness is limited. That's why they hold to the discipline. But it's even greater, you enjoy the discipline with an expanded consciousness. So we have greater joy of discipline than the animals would have. They're driven by primal energies, but we have greater joy of discipline. So I hope that this can inspire you a little bit to explore a little more about circadian rhythms and about the value of sadhana and tapas and discipline and the spiritual path. That's how I thrive. Every day. I wake up at a particular hour. I wake up at 4 a.m. every day. And my activities begin then. My breathing activities, my energizing activities. And I try to go to bed, which I do most of the time, 10 p.m. So I maintain that rhythm. And during the day, I love to follow the rhythm during the day. I love being in this temple at the midday hour, the meditation. I love meditations in the morning, I love it at midday, and I love it in the dusk hour. Just being quiet, just being centered, just reboosting yourselves. So try to learn more about the rhythms of nature and how to be in harmony with it. Have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Namaskar.